Tim, I am super honored to be here. We thank you in advance for just the time that you will take and have taken to get this whole meeting set up. So what we intend to do in the time that we have with you is just to get a sense of who Tim Howes is, the whole story of LDAP. I know that our customer base is very interested. They use your technology and the team that you worked on this with every day, all around the globe. And we'll discuss that, a little bit about the history, and then move on to other subjects that I think people are interested to hear your voice on, which is about the future of security, the future of identity, things of that nature. So first, let's talk about Tim Howes.
Sounds good.
So let's go through the basics. Background, where did you grow up? Talk to me about your education. What were you interested in?
So I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and went to the University of Michigan all the way through college. I was actually aerospace engineering my undergrad, and then I didn't switch to computer science until grad school. And I was actually, the story of LDAP begins when I was in the middle of getting my PhD and was really kind of casting about, unhappy with my current direction, and so I took a couple of years off to work for the university's Information Technology Division, and that's when LDAP came up, which we can get into more later. But then I ended up going back and finishing my PhD based on not LDAP itself, but some work on top of LDAP.
Interesting. So let's put a pin in that, because clearly you saw problems, and it seems like you and a great team invented some solutions. But we'll come back to the story of LDAP. I kind of want to understand, like, when you trace your career, and we're not going to roll out your CV here, but you've seen a lot. I want to get some sense of the more foundational experiences you've had from ClearStory, Netscape, both of which you made huge impacts in. What forged you in that experience? We both lived, I'm showing my gray hair as a 50-year-old guy in the tech space, but we've seen a lot, from
For sure. Yeah.
truly the birth of the internet.
Yeah.
So talk to me about some of those foundational experiences.
The early days when somebody would mention internet, you turned around and it was somebody you knew.
Yeah.
But now it's everywhere. I think, a couple things for me. Those early days at the University of Michigan was sort of where I discovered the internet and, really got into programming and networking and infrastructure, and that was very foundational. And then, as I moved on to Netscape, Netscape taught me the value of great marketing and sales, because, they took this thing that we had created at Michigan, LDAP, and through a tremendous marketing and PR effort and lining up a bunch of companies in support of it, really kind of catapulted LDAP to the next level, which was not something that I had really imagined.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about that. That was definitely foundational. I think, after Netscape was acquired by AOL in 1999, I left after a few months to co-found a company called JumpCloud, which later gained fame as when we changed our name to Opsware, got sold to HP for $1.6 billion, and it was the foundation of Ben Horowitz's book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. That was the crucible in which I learned a lot about management and startups and, really managing through some tough situations, because that whole story was one of a rocket ride up. We could do no wrong, and the company was going so well, and we were all geniuses. And then a rocket ride straight to the bottom where, we were complete idiots and worth less than the cash we had on hand in the company. And so, you go through something like that, and it really, one, teaches you that nothing else, it's not, whatever's happening, it's not so bad, because that was pretty much the worst thing. But then to really fight and claw and scrap my way through that with all that great team of people we had there was, it was a great experience. It was one of those both best and worst time of my life. For sure.
I know it's, people ask me very similarly, you've seen a bunch, you've had companies that work, you've, operated companies that have failed. what is the juice now for me especially, and of course it used to be the technology, the product, then it became the business model, and playing which is an instantiation of another product. Now it's about the people and those that can brave those storms together. I mean, you're invincible, but that's an interview for another time. For sure.